Hello to Sha'alvim, greetings from Yerushalayim. My name is Wasserman here. We are currently in lockdown during the challenges of Corona. And what I'd like to do in the next few minutes is to give a Sukkot message that also relates to the challenges and difficulties that we are all encountering during this Corona time period. There's a famous Gemara in Avodah Zarah. In fact, it's the very first page of Avodah Zarah that says that at the end of times, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to hold the Sefer Torah and say, Lemi sha'asak ba yavo v'yitol scharo, anyone who was fulfilling the Torah. Talking to Klal Yisrael, in fact, but whoever has fulfilled the Torah, come and get the schar that you have coming to you. And the non-Jews are going to line up and say, give us our schar, give us our schar. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to say to them, you didn't keep this Torah. And the non-Jews will say, but did the Jews really keep the Torah? And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, yes, I will testify. I give testimony that the Jews kept the Torah. And in fact, the non-Jews say, we disregard your testimony because you're no geir b'davar. You have a self-interest. God says, so the heaven and the earth will testify. We don't trust them either. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, in fact, I am telling you, you yourselves, the non-Jews, will testify that the Jews kept the Torah. And I'll give you an example. Nimrod is going to testify that Avram Avinu kept the Torah, that he wasn't involved in Avodah Zarah. And Lavan is going to testify that Yaakov Avinu kept the Torah, he didn't steal. And the wife of Potiphar is going to testify that Yosef kept the Torah, and he didn't get involved in illicit relationships. So the non-Jews say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, just give us an opportunity, give us a chance. And God responds, Mish shetarach be'erev Shabbos yochel b'Shabbos. If you cook for Shabbos on Erev Shabbos, you cook on Friday, you have food for Shabbos. If you didn't prepare, you don't have food for Shabbos. You missed your opportunity already. But nonetheless, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says the famous statement, okay, I have an easy mitzvah for you. The easy mitzvah is sukkah. Go ahead, do it, show me that you're committed. And the Gemara goes on to tell that the non-Jews built their sukkahs on top of their houses. They were ready to go. They got into the sukkahs, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought the sun out. It was a broiling hot day. It was so hot. The non-Jews were frying in their sukkahs. They run out of the sukkahs. They kick it on the way out and say, this is not for us. And the Tzitz Eliezer says there is a critical message from this Gemara. And he says as follows, the concept here is that we have to show that we keep the Torah not only during the good times, but during the difficult times, the challenging times as well. And that was the Eidus. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, look, Nimrod is going to testify to Avram, and Lavan is going to testify to Yaakov, and Esha Potiphar is going to testify to Yosef, even when they were having challenging times. It wasn't easy for them, but nonetheless, they stuck with the Torah, and I'll illustrate that to you, says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, sit in the sukkah, and we'll see how you do. And when it was boiling hot, the non-Jews say, this is too difficult. If it were easy, that'd be one thing, but difficult, we are indeed out of here. And that's the message to Klal Yisrael as well. This is about keeping the Torah not only during the good times, but the difficult times as well. There's a famous story, you may have heard it, told by about Rav Shalom Shvadran, the Maggid, that he was a mashgiach in the yeshiva, and there was a boy who for 2 years never missed a day in yeshiva, and he was out Sunday, Monday, wasn't in yeshiva. Tuesday, Rav Shvadran sees the boy and goes over to him. He says, everything okay? You've never missed a day in yeshiva? And the boy was a little bit embarrassed. He really didn't want to discuss the issue. But Rav Shvadran says to him, what's going on? Tell me, I'm here for you. So the boy says, Rabbi, I got to confide in you. It's the time for the Tel Aviv Maccabi championships, and I was at the championships in Tel Aviv. They did great. It was very exciting on Sunday and Monday, and I'm here today, but I will likely be out tomorrow. Tomorrow's the final day of the championships. There's no way I can miss it. And Rav Shvadran, very interested, says, tell me about this. What type of game is this? It's called soccer, and what you do is you try to kick the ball, and you get it into the opposing team's net, and you score a goal, and whoever has more points wins. It's really gewaldic. So Rav Sha'alvim says, so to give me a little bit more information, how does this work? So it just, you have two teams, and one is on one side, and the other team is on the other side, and you compete, and you have a certain amount of time, and at the end of the time, and it's really exciting. So Rav Sha'alvim says, if the whole point is to have the most points, why don't you go down now, when it's not during Bein HaSedarim, when you're not supposed to be learning, go late at night and just go kick the ball in for them? Why does it have to be during Seder? So the boy says, Rabbi, you don't understand. That's the whole point, that you have to have the team there that's challenging them, that's trying to stop them. That's the whole point of the game. And Rav Sha'alvim said to the boy, exactly, listen to yourself. When times are easy, kicking it right into the net when no one's guarding it, that's not the challenge. It's only when the other team is there. It's only when we have difficulties and challenges, that's when it counts. And the same thing applies to being in yeshiva. The easy times, when there's no championship, anyone can be in yeshiva. But during the difficult times, when it's more challenging, when you want to be out there and nonetheless you come, that's when it really counts, being in yeshiva. And that's the message that we saw in the Gemara in Avodah Zarah. During the difficult times is when we have to indeed be committed, and that's what we see from Rav Shvadran. And I think the same thing applies nowadays during Corona. We were used to the easy times, coming to yeshiva, learning on our stadarim, going and learning on our classes. That was easy. But now that it's difficult, we have to do it by Zoom for some students. That's not easy. And the people who were used to giving tzedakah when the stock market was up, now it's up again. But in any case, things are more difficult. People are having more of a difficult time with parnasa. Now's we need to double down on giving the tzedakah. Now's not the time to refrain. And now that we have so many needy people who need chasadim, now's the time, even though we need chasadim also, and everyone's having a difficult time, now we need to double down and even do more chesed. So I think that's the important lesson that we can take out of Sukkot and take out of Corona, that especially when it's difficult, certainly when it's easy, but especially when it's difficult, now is the time that we need to show our commitment to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and to Torah. Chag Sameach.
Whoa, whoa.